How'd you get him out of that IndyCar into a Joe Gibbs racing car?
I think it's a great story. And because we were sitting down with, at that point, Shell, and we were talking about future drivers and stuff. And so we had kind of all seen Tony. And I just said, I had a meeting with them, and I said, what do you think if we could get Tony Stewart? They freaked out. Get Tony Stewart. That's who we want. Well, he had a contract with Harry Ranier at that point. And so I start trying to chase him down. So I can't find him half the time because he's all over the place.
Yeah.
And so I finally found he had a girlfriend at Indy. And so I would call the girlfriend and say, where's Tony? And she would tip me off, and I would find. About the third time I called, she goes, no. And I went, oh my gosh, that's over. Yeah. So I lost that. But I kept after Tony. Kept talking to Harry, and I says, could we work a deal here? And finally talked Tony into it. I will say this too. Tony really understood himself, and he said, hey, Joe, I'm not ready for Cup. That was my problem. They wanted me to drive Cup, and I'm not ready.
Yeah.
So we put him in Xfinity. I don't know if you remember that or not. That man wreck more cars. Yeah. And sometimes he would wreck 3 times. I would say, hey, just park it after the first time, for crying out loud. And didn't win a race. Yeah. Matt Kenseth beat him at, I think it was Rockingham. I think so. It was the closest that he came. I kid Matt. I said, you moved him out of the way. He goes, no, it was legal. It was legal. But put him in the Cup the next year, and he was gone. Yeah. Really great. And at times there were things that came up, you know what I mean? Yeah. But we kind of handled them. I tell you, the great thing about Tony, whatever the mess was, okay, the next day, he honestly would say, what I got to do? Tell me, the sponsor, what I got to do? I got to pay money? What do I got to do? You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, but it was really, really enjoyable with him. And he helped us really get started. Oh, yeah. Dale Jarrett gets us going, Bobby Labonte, and then we get Tony. And so it was great.